All right, guys, welcome back. This is Street Race Life, episode 4.
Number four.
You gonna wear those glasses?
What's wrong with my glasses?
They just kind of look weird on you. I don't know. I'm not sure about them. He got baptized by a streetcar.
You're on my last nerve, son.
Dude, I'm just saying, like, it just doesn't look like you to me.
I'm putting them on it. You know what? I don't care. Piss on you. You already got me aggravated. What do you got today here, Junebug?
Well, first off, I want to start off by saying today's episode is sponsored by Hot Shots Secret. They have come on board. They're helping us out with oil this year. Hot Shots Secret provides you with the lube you need to succeed. And also 660 Supply.
Did you make that up?
Yeah.
Obviously, because they would never say something like that. You need to watch what you're doing.
Listen, man. People like that shit, alright? Alright. 660 Supply will get you the parts you need to break your opponent's heart. 660 Supply has helped us with these waist skates here. Make sure you check them out. 660supply.com. Great guys to work with. They've got a lot of parts. They're working on some pretty trick stuff for suspension on the S10.
Oh yeah, you mentioned something about that.
We're gonna try out some stuff that they're gonna make for us, and look for some suspension parts here in the near future for S10 trucks and leaf spring vehicles.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So
See if they can make some shocks.
yeah, I'd like to get some shocks.
Some
for sure.
front shocks that don't leak. They're going to have to take some severe abuse because
Yeah.
we're a little rough on
By the
front
time I get
suspension
done with
parts.
stuff, it ends up leaking usually.
I don't know why. Jesus.
Sometimes stuff likes to come down hard and be put away wet.
Stop. Just don't go there. So what's today's big deal, man? You got something going on today that's pretty special.
50,000 subscribers today. We hit that.
I can't imagine there's 50 people that give two shits what we have to say.
50,000 times that by 1,000.
I don't get it.
I don't
we
either.
appreciate it though, man. Guys, I don't know what the heck we've done, but we appreciate all the support and everybody that. I mean, we just went to Granville today and went to lunch at the pizza shop and sat down and didn't see the guy's face, but as soon as he heard our voice, he spun around his chair. He's like, "Hey, I thought I recognized that voice."
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. I mean, it's
Probably because we were talking shit about racing.
right.
You know, it's cool. Like, we're nobody. You know what I mean? We're just like anybody else. But when people think we're, somebody, it makes you feel good sometimes when people value your opinion on things or want to have your advice on parts or
Right.
what to do with car. We were sitting there talking about how to tune his carburetor in, and different things like that. And
He told me he was going to put fuel injection on his car because he couldn't get the carburetor to run right, and that made my hair stand straight up. Oh, that got me aggravated. But it's fine. I mean, and actually it kind of gave us a good idea that, maybe, the video we did with the Nova, putting the intake on that we bought from John Molina, the fogger and all that video seems to be doing better than most of the other stuff. Maybe it's because I'm so handsome.
probably not. I'm just gonna say that.
Maybe it's my glasses.
It's definitely
I
not the
didn't-
glasses
I didn't
because
have
you
my
weren't wearing them then, and
Right, I just got them.
thank God you're not wearing them now. That's all I can say.
What
But
the hell's
anyways,
wrong with my glasses, man?
50,000 subscribers. Thank you guys. Like it's been crazy. I never expected that anything would come of this. Honestly, when I started it, I didn't even know about the YouTube partnership program. I didn't know anything about any of that stuff. I just wanted to make videos for the people around here and kind of raise awareness for some of the people that were racing and didn't get any exposure.
Right.
I felt like nobody knew what Ohio was all about when I first started a couple years ago. A lot of people didn't know that we were racing or didn't know anything about some of the events that were going on, and I think we've helped bring some light to some of that over the last couple years, and I'm grateful for the platform that we have to do that.
Yeah, we've been blessed with the platform to not only bring awareness to what goes on in Ohio and the guys that we race with, but we've also, we've raised a little bit of money here and there for people when they've come on hard times. People's had family members that have passed away, family members that have gotten sick, and things like that. And when we were helping at Pacemakers, we had quite a few people come to us. And it kind of, it's a lot to put on us sometimes, because we're just normal people. But we've kind of learned to deal with it and do good things with the platform that we've been given, and to raise a little bit of money for charities and for people that need help, especially here locally, and some people that aren't even in this state. But we're very gracious, very, very thankful for everyone's support who's either come to race with us or watched the channel or talked shit about us or told everybody that we're
even if you
idiots.
hate on us, you've motivated us to do better,
Right,
and you've put us where we're at now.
Yeah, so thank you. I mean, even if you hate our guts, we don't really care. It's fine. We're cool with it. Thanks.
Yeah, so
50,000 subscribers.
50,000. That's more than 5 times the population of our hometown, Pataskala.
Have you done the math?
I'm pretty sure Pataskala is like 9 or 10,000.
It's 15.
All right, so maybe like 3.5 times.
Maybe you need glasses.
Listen, man, there's a
Try
lot of
my
people.
glasses.
Maybe back when I started, there's a lot of people moving to Pataskala. Damn, those actually do help a lot.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
kind of hurt. They help so bad. I can almost see the camera up there.
Yeah, now I can't. Okay. All
I
right,
gotta
so
get these off. I feel like a freaking.
well, then give them
weirdo.
back. Jesus. So
What do you got going on with the Nova? Everybody seems to be interested in the Nova.
I don't know why. That thing's a piece of junk.
Yeah, it's just a little stock suspension Nova, little bracket car.
Well, here's the deal, man. Your mother and I bought that car a long time ago. We had a mint, pristine. I wish I still had it. I don't know if I'd still do it today. Maybe I would, but we had a mint, pristine, original 78 Malibu, 2-door, 305, automatic, air conditioning, blew ice cold in it. It had the old set of Krieger Super Tricks on it that looked like tank wheels that were chrome. It had a Pioneer. You remember the old Pioneer? Well, you don't remember, but the old Pioneer cassette tape player in the dash, and had Pioneer 6x9s in the back. Just a really nice, clean old 78 Malibu. It was like a powder blue with a powder blue interior. And man, I had to have this Nova. I found the Nova in Pataskala sitting in an old dilapidated barn right next to Pataskala Elementary School. I believe it used to be the old bus garage, the building that the car was in. And I worked in Pataskala. I would drive past it all the time, and you could just barely see the taillights sticking out. The end garage door on this old barn was off the tracks, and it was down about halfway, but you could still see that Nova parked in there. And man, I just had to have it. So
Old girl was just prairie dogging out the back of that old barn.
It was prairie dogging out that door. So I stopped and talked to the guy a couple times about the car that owned it. His name was Tom Carl, and his dad had bought it for him as a graduation present. And along with the car, his dad had bought brand new headlight bezels and eyebrows for the front fenders and a bunch of new chrome for it, hood molding, and all that stuff was in the trunk. And it had a 350 in it, they'd carved a hole in the floor, put a 4-speed in it. It had hijacker air shocks on the back. It was
She was rowdy.
Oh yeah, it was rowdy, all right. I'll never forget the day he took me a ride in this thing. He's like, "Oh man, this thing runs good." So he got it started, right? Oh my God, the front end was wore out so bad. I was scared to death at 40 miles an hour because the front wheels looked like a galleon road grader. It was like this. It was terrible. I remember he took me out past the Boy Scout cabin in it and got on it in first gear, and it had 273 gears with a Muncie 4-speed, so it would run like 80 miles an hour in first gear. He pulled second gear. He's like, "Yeah, it runs good." I'm like, "Just stop." I was scared to death. I was scared to death. Scared to death. So anyway,
you patched up all the bullet holes.
oh man, yeah, it was that I forgot about that. Yeah, before Tom had the car, it had changed hands 3 or 4 times, and someone blew the engine up in it, parked it in the backyard, and some kids had set sandbags on the hood, and they're sighting their guns in with it, using it for target practice.
I can't even imagine
Yeah.
a 71 Nova these days.
Yeah.
You know, they
Factory
had no
V8
they had
automatic with air
no
car.
idea what it would be worth now. I mean,
Yeah, and it had a bullet hole in the front fender. Here's what happened. It traded hands 2 or 3 times, but one of the guys that got it off the original owner was driving it back and forth to work, and he worked second or third shift, and he fell asleep one night, and it was a mint beautiful original 71 Nova, and he drove off the right hand side of the road and hit a speed limit sign with it and tore the front fender up on it, and the guy was just sick. He couldn't stand to look at it, so he parked the car for a long time. It sat, and a young guy came along, had to have it. They took it out, beat it up a little bit, blew the engine up in it, shot holes in it with a gun, and then they sold it to this guy's dad, who I bought it from, and he didn't really do it too many favors either. But so I bought it as a roller. I traded that mint 78 Malibu running, drove it there, drove it in the driveway, put it in park, shut it off, had the air blowing cold in it, and handed him the keys, and I got that thing rolling. No motor, no transmission.
so what year was that when you got it? 94, 95,
No, it was like 92.
92?
Yeah, 92, 93. I was right out of high school.
Dang.
So when I first put it together, it had a 283 in it. It was my first V8 engine. My dad helped me rebuild it. We put 283 down in it out of a 65 Impala, and I put a 4-speed in it, and used to take it to Q Day at National Trails. Remember Q Day? You don't remember Q Day?
QFM 96?
QFM 96 Day. Q Day at Trails.
Was it like new rock back then? Because it's like old rock now.
Shut up. You're a goof.
I'm serious.
It's
What are the-
always been classic rock. you
classic
jerk
rock.
off.
So what was classic rock in the 90s?
Same
That had
thing
been
that's
like
classic today.
60s, right? 70s?
No, shut up. Don't. God, you make me
Led
mad.
Zeppelin?
Of course, Led Zeppelin.
Jimi Hendrix?
Shut up. So anyway, we'd take it to Q Day and get down there and blast through the gears, bang gears, 4-speed, burn one tire off to 330 feet, and thought I was fast. And the only thing going on down there at the time was bracket racing. So I started taking it out on Saturdays and Sundays and bracket racing. And of course, with a 4-speed on regular radials, I didn't do very well. But I ended up taking the 283 out and putting a 350 in it, and got it down into like low 14s.
That's flying.
For the time, it was fine. I mean, it was just a street car. It was just a dish
They
piston
didn't have
350.
turbos back then, right?
Are you going to do this the whole time? So I ended up going like, I got it to go like 1250s, and then I put flat top pistons in it, rebuilt it, and then I got it down to 11s, and then they kicked me out because it didn't have a roll bar. So me and a buddy of mine put a 6-point roll bar in it, and that's about the time they made me put the roll bar in it. That's about the time I quit driving it on the street because it never had a passenger seat in it after we put the roll bar in it. So I just quit buying tags for it, and we just strictly started racing it. I put an automatic in it and got it down into the low 11s and then into the high 10s, and then it stayed there for a long time.
And you kind of stopped street driving it, right?
Yeah,
Took
I
the
did. I
passenger
haven't.
seat out of it.
Yeah, I haven't had tags on it or street driven it since it had the roll bar in it. except just to drive it up and down the road. So that's been 23 or 24 years ago.
Yeah. It's a couple years older than I was. So, damn. Right?
What's a couple years older than you are?
Since you started.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, about 2 years before you were born. You were born in 96. So about 2 years before you were born, I quit driving on the road. So,
You must have known bad things were coming.
oh, I knew bad things were coming when your mom came home with that pregnancy test. She bought a whole bag of them.
Yeah.
Every one of them had bad news.
Accidents suck, don't they?
No, it's all good. I remember when, hey, I'll tell you this. I remember when your mom told me, I laid down on the couch in there and I thought my days of race car shit are over. My life as I know it is over. I literally laid on the couch and just stared at the ceiling.
You're just thinking, I gotta sell the car. I gotta.
Right.
do
I mean,
this
that's
and
what
that.
I was thinking. That everything's going to go. And but no, it's
Somehow
been,
you held on to the car, and now it's here, and
yeah,
now I'm gonna be driving it.
false. You've got that damn piece of shit truck. I'm driving my car.
You can't drive that thing.
The hell I can't. Wait till I get your shit to Milan. I'm gonna. Oh my god.
You're not.
You don't
gonna-
even know.
dude. You don't have a chance. Like 0% chance. The only way.
Did you see what I did up there at Milan? I literally unloaded that piece
You
of
beat
shit
a
off
couple
the trailer.
Trailblazers in your freaking
I
Nova.
almost
with
beat that
uncapped headers.
Firebird. I almost beat that Firebird.
Almost is the key word.
I didn't have any nitrous.
The Firebird blew the tires off the whole way down, and then passed you sideways.
Shut up. I'm done talking to you. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna leave. You're making me aggravated.
There's the door.
All right. It's my garage. Jesus Christ. All right. So we're gonna put the Nova back on the street. I already started in. We put a fogger intake on. Bought it from John Molina. It's got 2 stages of nitrous on it now. It's got a. Should I tell them what it is?
No, you're trying to grudge race, right?
It's a 327.
Yeah.
I told everybody it was a 283. I gotta come clean.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I wish you wouldn't have told him that, honestly, but
yeah. So anyway, put a little fogger intake on. It's got 2 kits of nitrous on it. We're gonna put mufflers on it. I already bought license plates. They're on their way. Got personalized tags for it.
and what do they say?
Head games.
Head games. Notorious for getting in people's heads and
Right.
winning that way, because God knows we don't win by having the most money or being
And
the
that is a
fastest.
fact. That
You
is
got to
a
get in
fact.
their heads a little bit.
No, man, listen, when I was bracket racing that car, I know nobody gives a shit about bracket racing, but I do. I always bracket raced it. That's all I ever did. And I was really good at it. And I wasn't the best, but I mean, I did very well. I mean, I think it was 2004, 2005 was like the last year I was really, really trying to bracket race it hot and heavy. And I won more money that year than I made at my regular job. I think there towards the end. I know when the tracks closed up, I was like, oh, what am I going to do now?
All right, I'm gonna take a break. We gotta change the battery in the camera here. All right, we're back.
All right, we're back. So we were talking about the Nova, going back on the street. We're planning on taking it to Milan, to the Detroit Hood TV Shakedown events this summer. They're running the track backwards, bare asphalt, and
Bare, like
yeah,
as
there's
bare as
nothing.
bare gets.
Just like being on the street, a virgin street. So that's the first place I plan to drag your ass, is at Milan. It won't be the
you need to
last
get
place.
through that freaking little Mustang that called you out from Columbus first. That little, yeah,
Colton?
yeah, Colton. He's gonna drag your ass,
I ain't worried about freaking Cheddar
and
Bob.
that's why he's gonna beat you. You're gonna take him lightly. Don't let him get out on you.
Cheddar Bob ain't getting out.
That
on
little 5-0 is gonna be screaming. You don't know what he's got planned. He's
You're
got
just-
plans.
You're just trying to aggravate the hell out of me. I know.
He's
what
got
you're doing.
plans, I guarantee you.
He ain't got nothing.
Yeah, all right.
No,
We'll
don't
find
get me
out.
wrong. I mean, he does a good job. But I'm gonna blast him. I'm gonna blast him way worse than I'm gonna blast you. So we're gonna take it to Milan, do a little street racing. Maybe take it to Katy Dragway Midnight Madness. Maybe take it to the Streetcar Brawl up at US 41. Mags has got that no prep at $10,000 no prep this year. Might take it up there. English Mountain. God, I gotta go. Listen, I really, really, really hope we can do this. Last year we had that street racer reunion at Clay City, and I think, don't hold me to it, but I think we're going to take it to English Mountain at what's the name of that town down there?
Newport, Tennessee.
Newport, Tennessee.
30 minutes from Gatlinburg. I think it's
Oh
like
my
10 or
God.
15 from Knoxville.
Listen, we're going to do a streetcar cruise, and we're going to leave the track, and it's like a 30-minute drive to Gatlinburg, the back way through the mountains down through there. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's going to be a real streetcar cruise. This ain't
Yeah.
no 10-minute, 15-minute stop 3 times to fill up your freaking 5-gallon cell. This is a real cruise that's going to separate the streetcars from the
Right.
wannabes.
So
And it's going to be beautiful.
yeah, and I can't wait because this is like my goal. My goal for this year, if I can't do anything else, I want to take the Nova on that streetcar cruise through the mountains in Gatlinburg at the Street Racers reunion down there. I'm hoping that Josh Ottinger down there can hook us up and give us a weekend to do it because, man, I just can't wait. Ever since we went down there, I just can't wait to go back. This place is beautiful, and the best thing about that place is the track is less than 400 feet off the main highway. You turn left, come out of the track, go out the main highway, you turn left, and less than a mile, you've got Cracker Barrel, you've got hotels, all kinds of restaurants and shopping area up there. I can't believe it's that close to that kind of an area, but
And the track surface itself is perfect for the kind of
Yeah.
racing we do.
the snow prep
because
street style stuff. It's flashlight start down there.
It's
Just
one
like
of
we
those
always do.
tracks, you've got barely enough rubber in each tire groove.
Right.
It looks like a street,
Right.
honestly. And after 60 foot, there is 0 rubber down.
Right.
They don't drag it. It's never been prepped, I don't think.
They've prepped it once or twice, just I think 60 feet. 'Cause
Just
that's all they
60
can-
feet in the tire tracks. But, I mean, it's a rough surface.
It's not coarse. What we mean by rough is it's got bumps in it. So-
You're not going to take a chassis car there
Yeah,
and
it's going to be rough.
on tight shocks and think you're going to get down it with
No.
a bunch of horsepower. You've got to have something that'll get down the regular road.
Right. So we're really hoping to do that, and like I said, at Milan and KD and US 41 and Mags, do a little street racing.
Do
I
a lot
can't
of
wait.
traveling.
Yeah, I can't wait. We'll probably travel mostly with your truck because it's going to.
Go ahead and say it.
The truck's going to be a little bit faster than the Nova, but when I'm driving that Nova, you're going to get blasted.
Why would you think you driving it makes it faster?
You'll see, Junior. You'll see.
I mean, yeah, it's not going to be happening.
So what else is going on, man? We got what? This is Monday. We're filming this on Monday.
Yeah, tonight, I heard there's a show on tonight.
Right, No Prep Kings is on tonight.
Yeah, it used to be Street Outlaws, but now
It's still street. It's a different show, you dingus. Don't
it's
confuse.
different? We love Street Outlaws. Okay.
So No Prep Kings is on tonight. It's not Street Outlaws. It's Street Outlaws, No Prep Kings. Two totally different shows. Unless you're an idiot, you would know that.
Oh, okay.
And
Thanks for clearing that up.
Barefoot Ronnie Pace will be on there tonight.
Yeah, I think that's the first time he's going to be on No Prep Kings, right?
I don't know.
I don't think he's been on yet.
I don't know, but I can't wait to see him get out there and mix it up with those guys.
Gotta love to support the real guys, the real street guys that are out there just trying to make it. You know what I mean? He's one of them guys. He's never changed up. It's just him and his wife that do all the
Emerald.
work on the car.
Emerald just joined Street Race Life on Facebook.
They're very genuine people, and they've always kept it real. And
They've put everything on the line to do this. I mean, he actually even bought a Camaro, a whole other car, because both the Novas are beautiful cars, but they're too heavy.
they're street race cars.
Right, they're street race cars, and
They're
Yeah.
heavy. They're, like he said, that I watched an interview. He said they're about 1,000 pounds heavy
right.
compared to everybody else. You know.
So I'm a big fan of Ronnie. I have been ever since, really, I think ever since that episode where I think he raced JJ, and he got crossed up and ran the old heavy off the road. And I remember he got out of the car and he didn't care about that Nova or himself or anything. He was almost in tears. He was worried about JJ, make sure he was okay. And you could just tell he was a genuine person. That ever since I seen that, I was like, man, I always liked that guy, but he's
I
real.
always liked his cars. I liked watching his Novas in Dallas Fort Worth at the Cash Days. I always remember back in high school and middle school, even watching videos of him getting down, and definitely inspired me to do what I do today. Because I just remember watching all those videos 1320 posted and things like that, and just wishing one day I could do it or even just be there to watch. I used to just wonder, where they did it, or how to get into that scene and how to get started in it, because I had no idea. I was just really intrigued by it, because I grew up just bracket racing, and seeing all that kind of stuff, it kind of intrigued me. So
Right.
it definitely inspired me to do what I do today.
There's a lot of sacrifices and there's a lot of things that we've given up to do this. You can't seem to hold a girlfriend at all.
Yeah, it seems like,
You have terrible taste in women.
well, maybe they have terrible taste in me. Maybe they should just leave me alone.
I wish some of them would.
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot of time. It's just. Uh, yeah.
Racing at this level and doing what we're doing, especially putting on the events like what you've been doing and doing the videos, and plus you work with me every day. We still do excavating. We are regular just working people, but you don't really have a whole lot of time to go screwing around, and part of that's by my plan to keep you out of trouble. You don't have time to go bar hopping and screwing around and whatever the hell else kids do these days.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely one of those things where I've started this thing that we've got going now, and you got to stay on top of it. I get a bunch of orders that come in. I got to package orders and ship orders, and I got to keep up with new content and work on the truck, promote events that I'm doing, answer questions.
It'd be nice if you
online.
helped me work on my Nova.
I seem to remember helping you put the engine together and going and getting the or
Come on, man.
You know.
You know what I mean.
yeah. Remember adjusting your rocker arms for you last year.
Oh, Jesus, that was a disaster. I had to redo them.
I'm gonna blame that one on Travis. He was helping me on that. He must have missed one.
So I mean, there's a lot of sacrifices that people make to go racing. I'm sure if anybody's out there listening right now and you've got a car sitting there, you need parts, you can't afford everything you need. You got to sit there and work side jobs, and I mean it just takes a lot of time. It not only the time, even if you've got the money to just go and buy whatever you want, which most people don't. It just takes a lot of time working on the car and working to try to make the money to buy the parts, and not only that, but you've got a tow vehicle to keep maintained, a trailer or two trailers, and it's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of sacrifice involved in what we're doing, and sometimes relationships, both,
And especially with the guys running that no prep show.
Right. I mean, those guys, I'll tell you right now, some of them have really put themselves out there. So, I mean, I really.
I know some people might not like the no prep and they prefer street over everything, but
And I do too, but.
we've got to support the sport as a whole, and we got to support these guys that are going out there and trying to make a living out of it. They're trying to make it worth it. They're trying to go for their dreams just like we are.
Right.
They're
You got guys like Bobby Ducote that, he's still working out of a little 2-car garage at his own house. You got Jerry Leist still working out of a little 2-car garage at his house with the Camaro. Brad Eglin, he don't have a toter home. He don't have a motor home, none of that. He's got a pickup truck and a little enclosed trailer. He travels all over the place with a couple of guys. Dominator, same
He's-
way. Joe, I love Joe, man.
Him and his wife are about the same as
Yeah.
Barefoot Ronnie. Similar situation. They do
Yeah.
all the work on their cars.
Right.
They don't
Right.
have much, but they give it all to racing.
So, I mean, if you've ever been a fan of racing, if you've ever been a fan of drag racing, if you've ever been a fan of your average guys out there making it big, listen, these guys, they're no different than we are.
There might be some that are harder to relate to, but
Right.
for the most part, a lot of them are just like us.
Right. So, I mean, if you're sick and tired of the John Force Family Feud, NHRA crap they get put on television, but not nearly as much as these guys. I mean, these guys are every week, and they're just regular people. They're just regular people, just like you and me.
And I've seen it. I've seen it for
Absolutely.
fact.
Absolutely.
Some people think they're these multimillionaires, but they're really not. I mean, Kai Kelly was even struggling earlier this year. I know he was thinking about selling everything.
Yeah.
And it's very hard on people emotionally, mentally, physically.
Speaking of that, I caught something, and I texted Kayla because I really thought that was really awesome.
Kayla Morton.
Yeah. The very first episode, they did a little interview with Kayla, and she got through first round, and I think maybe even second round, and they took a little interview of her, and you could see she teared up. She said it would really mean a lot to me to win this and pay back my mom and dad that have given so much to her and Boosted to help support their program and those cars. And so, I mean, listen, Kayla's as hard as you. I mean, she's a tough cookie.
She's bad.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, to see Kayla tear up a little bit and show a little bit of emotion like that meant a lot to me. And I even texted her and I said, you're an inspiration not only to young men but young women that are trying to do this stuff. And I really meant it. It meant a lot to me to see that. So, I mean, there's a lot of sacrifice. These guys are working extremely hard.
They want it bad.
They want it bad. They want it bad. And I want it bad for them. I mean,
who wouldn't want a drag race for a living?
Right. I mean, like Dean Carnes, he's from here in Ohio. He's out there trying his hardest to do it. He went with us down to New Orleans. He was street racing with us. Boosted was down there street racing with us. Kayla was down there street racing with us. And we're nobody, right? I mean, we're literally just a father and son from a nowhereville, Ohio, that just loves drag racing. Well, I don't even care. I don't care if it's bracket racing. I don't care if it's index racing. I don't care if it's super comp, super gas, super street. I don't care if it's a sportsman, foot brake eliminator, bracket entry. I don't care what it is. If it's drag racing, I love it. And I really like to see people do well. I like to see people get ahead. I hope everybody will tune into this thing tonight. Show these guys some love. And if you're on Facebook, go to their page, like their pages, and tell them, hey, I like you, or hey, I hate your guts, or, I mean, they don't care, believe me.
As long as you're watching.
As long as you're watching and hating, they don't give a shit. They need your feedback, not only for the producers to make the show better, but also to just let them know what you like or you don't like about the show. And I like the show. I think mostly because I know so many of those guys that are on there, so I can relate to some of them, where some people that don't know these guys might not feel relatable to them. I wish they would show more of the small tire stuff, because if there's anything that can be relatable to average people, it's going to be the small tire stuff, and they don't show any of it. And it's really a letdown, because I know Chris Hamilton puts a lot of effort into keeping that thing alive. Honestly, if it wasn't for Chris, I think the small tire stuff would have probably died on the vine after the first season, because they didn't show any of it on the first season. And so far they haven't showed any of it this season. So if you're one of the producers for Pilgrim or Discovery Channel, please, man, please show the small tire guys. At least the finals or the quarterfinals, the small tire stuff.
Look at your comments, see what people hate the most, cut it out, replace it with small tire.
Yeah. And honestly, Boosted, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to suck boosted off or nothing, but dude, everybody loves that guy. I love him to death. He's for real. He's a straight up guy. He's as street as it gets, and I think a lot of people relate to him. I think a lot of people respect him, and the more you put Chris Hamilton on television in front of these people, the better the show is going to be. I promise you that.
Absolutely.
So hopefully the small tire guys will get some love. Hopefully we get to see some small tire action on there, and I think that'll translate well into ratings. But that's just me. I don't know. I'm not a professional, but
It's one of those things where most average people, it's the same way with my truck and why it got popular, I guess, if you want to call it that. People can see it, they can relate to it, they look at it and think, hey, I might be able to afford that, you know. It's possible, it's obtainable. A lot of these cars, like, I don't want to throw out examples, but you know who I'm talking about. Like, some of these cars, they're $200,000, $500,000 cars, you know, in that range. It's something that people just can't really relate to. And
Yeah.
a lot of these small tire cars, if you put them on a bad enough track, I mean,
right.
I might be able to compete. You know what I mean?
It's one of those things where, and I don't want to bash on the show, but I do want to give a little bit of criticism. That when you take Outlaws and you put them on an NHRA sanctioned national event facility track, you lose that outlaw edge. You take Boosted GT and you take him to Magnolia in Ohio, you take him to Pacemakers, you take him to Katy Dragway, that's outlaw.
Yeah, I mean, that's as close as you can get to the street, and that's kind of what No Prep started as. You just
Right.
wanted to get it to where it was legal, but these guys could go out there and put on a show and
Do their
even
thing.
the playing field. It was meant to even everything, just like the street does.
Now
It
they're
takes away
starting to have to put all these crazy rules on it because the tracks are too good. So to level the playing field, instead of having the track level the playing field or the street level the playing field, now they're starting to put all these rules in it, and I'm telling you, it's not gonna work out too well. So I just hope that they can. I wish they could take it back and figure out how to take these events to the small town mom and pops tracks that they were intended to be taken to begin with when Reaper started this whole thing. Like him or hate him, that was what he had planned. He told me that when he came up with Pacemakers, and I thought it was an excellent idea. I still think it's an excellent idea.
I believe there's still tracks out there that can fit a pretty large amount of people that aren't necessarily a national event scale track.
Right.
You
And
take US 41 for an example.
Right.
I mean, they've got huge bleachers there. They've got plenty of space, and they've got fields
Right.
everywhere around it you could rent for parking.
Right.
Yet the track, I mean, it's decent, but it's not a national event track.
Yeah, it's not a Norwalk or it's not a Galat and stuff like that. So I really hope that they can figure something out. Pre-sale tickets, like if they're going to go to Pacemakers or a small track, they can only fit 2,000 people in there. Pre-sale 2,000 tickets and shut that shit off. That's it.
And
then
another
they know
thing,
how
I
many
mean-
people are coming. They know how many porta-johns. They know how many bleachers and everything they need. And I hate to say it, but in all honesty, if you've got an event and you've got people posting pictures of cars parked along the roadway 2 miles away and people walking 2 miles down the road to get to it, that's a freaking event. I mean, that gets people's attention on social media. If you put them in a great big field with thousands of other people, nobody cares. But when I saw pictures when they went down to North Carolina on the first season, there's people parked for 2 miles away along the road and walking in. It was incredible. I mean, it made headlines. It was a big deal.
It's a hassle sometimes,
It
and
is
you
a
might
hassle.
get people that complain about it, but in the end, when you're doing a TV show or you're videoing something and you look around and there's empty spots and large stands that are meant to
Yeah,
know,
it doesn't look good. I remember.
if you fill it's about the scale. If you fill a small track
Right.
to capacity
Or over capacity, maybe a little.
on video, it looks
Awesome.
like there's more people there, but
Right.
there might not be. But it looks that way, and that's all that really matters. I don't know if they're maybe trying to, get as many people in there as they can, but I understand that too, but I think for the show as a whole to make it survive like it needs to, I think they need to take it to some of these smaller tracks.
I agree. Well, it's just about time to kick off here, man. I don't want to run this thing out too far. So
Tune in tonight, No Prep Kings.
No
Support
Prep
these
Kings
guys.
tonight.
Thank you guys for 50,000 subscribers.
yes.
Can't thank you guys enough.
And
Stay
listen,
tuned.
when I bust his ass at Milan in that Nova, you guys show me some love, because it's coming.
Yeah, whatever.
It's coming. All right, guys.
See you guys.
See you next time.